Isn't it fascinating that we all, most of us, hopefully, have a savings account where we save money for our future and in case something happens, so we'll have a buffer that we can take from. Now that makes sense to everybody, right? That you have a savings account. So money is energy, and we all know that because I talk about money and energy all the time. So why is it that we don't do the same thing when it comes to our mindset and to our emotions? Because all of a sudden there, we just think that we should be showing up a certain way. But here's what I want you to know. Your brain is not designed for you to be happy. Your brain is designed for you to survive. That's why we have the fight and flight mode. Somebody comes too close and then you know how to defend yourself. So therefore, automatically, unless you condition your mind, you're always going to be in a deficit. That means that you don't have the emotional preparation if something happens because you're always acting in reaction mode. Now imagine if that was the same thing with your bank account. Your bank account is always empty and then something shows up and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to make this happen? I have to borrow from this person, this person, this person. It stresses you out. But it's exactly the same thing in your emotional internal space. That's why I always talk about that you need to work on your emotional immune system so that you are ready when things happen. So that you are ready, if your business falls apart, if your partner leaves you, if you do something and you feel bad about yourself, you're prepared. You already have the skills and the resources internally to know how to be in those moments. And that's something that you need to train. It doesn't come naturally. Because I hear so many times people say, oh, I feel great in my life, everything's fantastic, then that happens and all of a sudden I don't know who I became. Well, you became somebody who was stuck in the pain that you had in that area because you hadn't done the work to figure out who do I need to become when this thing happens so that I'm emotionally and mentally and physically prepared. So that I don't fall apart and everything falls apart. But I actually know, okay, so this happens. Now I know I can pull on that string, that tool. That's why you need to create a library of emotional tools. And that only comes from practicing every single day the skills that I teach you here. Affirmations in the morning. Who do you want to show up as that day? Gratitude, because when we feel grateful, we can't feel bitter or angry or fearful. When we stay in gratitude, we start looking at the world from a different perspective. Something happens and you're in gratitude. Isn't that easier to deal with than if you're down here in fear? Yes, right? Because you worked on your emotional immune system. But if you don't work on yourself internally, on your thoughts and your feelings on a consistent basis every day, and you don't implement successful habits and rituals that you do every day, you're going to be running behind your life. And then when something happens, you're not going to be prepared. So here are my 3 tools that I believe are foundational in order for you to work on your emotional immunity. Number 1. Wake up in the morning with gratitude. And you've heard me talk about this a million times. Please do the work. Don't just listen to this video and say it sounds good, but then you don't do it. Please implement. Implement. Gratitude in the morning. It can be listening to gratitude on, a meditation. It can be writing down 3 things you're grateful for. It could be thinking about what you're grateful for, but you got to think it and feel it. Remember, it's got to be thought and heart connected. Otherwise, it doesn't have an impact on your emotional immune system, right? Number 2, affirmations. Tell yourself every morning, how do you want to feel? Who do you want to show up as? I am powerful. I am abundant. I'm a money magnet. I am a lover. I'm a whatever it is. I am happy. I am fulfilled. Whatever it might be, whatever you want to feel that day, start talking that into reality while you brush your teeth, while you drive the car. You don't even have to find something on YouTube to listen to. You can do this by yourself. And number 3, set your intentions for the day. Who am I going to show up as today? What's going to be my standard today? At what standard do I choose to live by today? Regardless of what happens in the external world, people might say something bad to me, whatever. Who am I going to be today? Write down what your intention for the day is. What are my intentions for this day? Who am I going to be? Those 3 little tools take you no time in the morning. And I guarantee you, if you do them and you really do them, not just for a week, but you do them over and over and over and over, make that a habitual habit that you have because you want to raise your emotional immune system here and raise your standard. I'm telling you something comes along. Now you have a buffer of how to be with your emotions, and you know how to react, and you don't have to lose your shit and say stuff that you regret. Just like you are saving in your savings account, please do the work so that you can fill up your emotional immune system.